Hey everyone, this is Ryder from YoGov, and I wanted to do a quick video to share important information about infection rates in the US and what we've been seeing over the past few weeks, which has, of course, been alarming for all of us. I think we're all aware, but I wanted to point that out. And I also wanted to share some more information about financial resources that will be available. Since end of February, around February 27th, I decided that we as a company should be sending emails every morning that included data, information, important things that everyone should know about what's been happening with this virus. And so every morning I've gotten up, it's usually been in this chair, and I've read all the news, looked at all the data from Johns Hopkins and the New York Times and others, many other sources, pulled them together into summary emails. And we've just seen day by day how the infection rate has been increasing. And of course, so much of that in the US is a product of actually testing, right? Early on, there wasn't testing at all. So of course the numbers were low. People were infected, but they didn't know it. Certainly, that's still the case. Testing hasn't gotten that much easier, but I just wanted to show you a few things and then talk about some resources that should be helpful for you. So this was how the U.S. looked on Saturday, February 29th, so just over 4 weeks ago, and there were 70 infections in the U.S. We talked about California had folks that come in from China. And this is when, by the way, there were zero traces of community transmission. So this was only 4 weeks ago. And we've been doing these maps every day based on CDC data, and based on New York Times reporting, which a lot of that comes from Johns Hopkins and their database as well. And then just 2 weeks later, we did a comparison map that showed this. So basically every state had infections. New York came out of nowhere. It had zero. Remember, 2 weeks ago it had zero, and now it had 500 2 weeks later. And there were over 2,000 U.S. cases on March 15th. That was only 2 weeks ago. Just over 2,000 cases in the U.S. On March 15th. Today's the 29th. And then last weekend, here's how it looked last Sunday, March 22nd, and it had 10x from the previous week. So it was 24,000 infections that had been detected, right? So, and New York at this point had over 10,000, and that's when it became the hot spot. And today, we of course have the most number of infections in the world right now, and we have over 125,000 infections right now. This is just astonishing to show, which is why I wanted to show these. New York has over 50,000, so almost half of all infections in the U.S. have been detected in New York. And this is only 4 weeks since we had 70 cases in the U.S. So, the experts have said today we may peak in a couple weeks. So we still have a couple weeks of increasing rates. And it's been alarming. The good news, I don't want this video to be all about the trend of infections and the panicking that's been happening. The good news is the stimulus bill was passed on Friday, the $2.2 trillion stimulus bill. And that means a number of things, but one is we'll get stimulus checks. Individual U.S. taxpayers, most will get stimulus checks. I've done videos about that. You can go to 2020stimulus.org to see how much you'll get. The second piece for businesses is there's more resources for businesses. So there's a $10,000 emergency loan that will be available this week. And there are longer-term loans by the SBA as well. So if you go to that same link, there's information on how to apply for those. We encourage you to apply for those. If you need help, we can help. But of course, many of us are in the same situation. Small business owners, restaurants, sole proprietors, you name it, everyone's struggling. So it's good to at least apply for your options. And of course, there's also the unemployment applications as well, which have grown drastically in the past 2 weeks. So we're still going to be sending email updates. If you do want to get email updates from us, we're going to continue this every morning with the latest. So you can, we try to put in some good news every morning, but you can sign up on that same link, 2020stimulus.org. There's a link to sign up, or you can go to getcoronavirushelp.com. That's getcoronavirushelp.com, and there's even more resources for you. I hope you're staying well, and stay safe and stay home. Thanks.